Welcome to the second compilation of Harry Potter Explained. This is going to be episode 6 through 10 of the Harry Potter compilation. So this is part 2, I guess, of the compilations of Harry Potter Explains. Without further ado, let's roll them. Let's talk about how the professors almost sent Slytherins to the dungeon to meet up with a troll on Halloween, Harry's first year. Those of you who played Hogwarts Legacy will probably already know there are multiple entrances into the dungeons and multiple dungeons to access, some with dead ends. Just because there's a troll in the dungeon doesn't mean that the professors are going to take the students directly towards the trolls in the dungeon. Maybe the troll is in a different part of the dungeon, plus it's not hard to miss a troll. So I assume if they're taking a bunch of kids down a hallway who are being escorted by 7th years, 6th years, 5th years, all prefects, and a bunch of students who know magic, plus the higher up 7th years know a lot of magic. Even if they did run into a troll, they have magic. I'm pretty sure they have learned how to take out a troll. 3 first years were able to take out the troll. I'm pretty sure a whole house of Slytherin can take out the troll. Let's talk about the 7 Potter problem. The question always arises, using 7 Potters didn't make any sense. Why didn't they do this? Why didn't they do that? Well, one of the ones is, why didn't they just go leave Privet Drive and then disapparate at the same time as the Dursleys? Well, one of the big things is the Death Eaters were watching the house. Yeah, they couldn't sit across the street and watch the house like they did for number 12 Grimmauld Place, but they were still able to see the house and probably had wards around the neighborhood notifying them when certain people left. Even if Harry was in an invisibility cloak, they probably, number 1, know about the invisibility cloak. Number 2, probably would have still been notified, hey, there's 2 people leaving right over there. Let's go get them. Plus, with the 7 Potters, it's like a shell game with a big bluff. Yes, they could have bluffed it and had 7 Potters that weren't Harry, and then just, while that's being distracting everybody, then Harry just disapparates, but they also didn't want to use magical ways of travel that would notify the Ministry that, hey, Harry's traveling magically. Let's see where he's going, because they didn't want the Ministry to know exactly where he was going. So if 7 Potters go to 7 different locations and then they use a unauthorized port key from those 7 locations, it's a lot harder to track where Harry is. So it's a shell game within a shell game. So you have 7 shells that have, one of them has the ball. You mix those up and then put them in 7 more shells and then mix those up. Where's the ball? You tell me. Let's talk about the Hogwarts paintings. There's an inconsistency in the personality of the paintings. Some paintings just have basically NPC levels of personality. But then you have paintings such as the Headmaster's paintings who seem to have almost a sentience to them. Yes, they still are just memories of the Headmasters, but what the Headmasters do that make their portraits so much more special is throughout their tenure as the Headmaster or Headmistress of Hogwarts, they put their memories within the paintings. They also talk to the paintings, enchant the paintings, give them personality, allow them to absorb their information, so they are able to give advice that person would be able to give when they were headmaster. So it allows future headmasters to get advice from their previous headmasters without having to bother them whether they're alive or dead. Let's talk about how the trace works. The trace is more of a ping of hominum revelio. So what it does is magic is used in the area of someone who has the trace on them. It pings out and shows how many non-magical and magical human beings there are in the vicinity and how many of them have the trace on them. Your question is probably, well, what about Dobby? They would have known that there was another magical creature in there that could have been doing the magic and not Harry, so there would have been speculation on that because wizards don't care about house elves. So of course it's only going to do humans, whether they be wizards or muggles, but it'll show, hey, look, there's 4 muggles and only the one magical being who has the trace. He must be doing magic. That's why when Mr. Weasley came to pick up Harry and he used magic around Harry with the Dursleys, Harry didn't get in trouble because when it went off, it says, this wizard with a trace is around someone who is of age must be using magic. So we can't really tell who's using magic, but I'm pretty sure he would tell, hey, no using magic. Let's talk about why Harry, Hermione, and Ron had a problem with food when they were traveling around during the Deathly Hallows. The biggest complaint is that we even see other wizards use Accio salmon and are able to get food, which means the trio should have been able to get food all the time. But having to go out and forage for food is a lot harder than when you're just running around in the path. Because what we do know, that group that the trio saw by the river eating salmon, we know got busted by snatchers not too shortly after that night. So it stands to reason the trio was being much safer, and it's a lot harder to Accio food when there could be a chance that you run into snatchers or other dangerous people. They got what they could when they could, and yeah, they probably could have been a little bit more lenient. They also did not want to steal, so of course they're not going into a village and going, Accio all the bread! It's the same reason why in the second task, Harry said, yeah, I'm not going to say Accio scuba gear, because where's that coming from, and who's that coming from, and who's gonna notice scuba gear flying down the English countryside? I hope you enjoyed those 5 theories. Make sure to leave in the comments what you thought of those short little explainers, and we'll see you next time. Thank you for watching another Marvelous Marauders video. If you liked what you watched, make sure to watch one of the videos over here. You got a previous video or the next video, depending on when you're watching this, and then you have a playlist that is going to relate to whatever video you just watched. I hope you have a wonderful day, and we